Good evening, everybody. We are back in the studio, and I'm always excited. I'm especially excited tonight. I've got my buddy Gregg Steele Heppner in the studio. Recently married, Greg.
I know.
Like 3 days ago, married? Or what?
Yeah, it was Saturday night.
Saturday night.
So that's three-ish.
3-ish days.
Yeah.
Still married.
I honestly addressed you first when we were talking, like you have an event coming, and I said, and my wife will be coming along, which is the first time I've said that. So,
Ever.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
congratulations.
pretty great.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Before we get into that conversation, you brought us River Dog Brewing Company. If I can spit it out. Is this a light beer? Is it an IPA?
It's not a dark beer. It's just an IPA, and it's nice. And we had it for our locals. We had a lot of people come in from out of town.
Okay.
I've lived in the area for probably about 6 years or so, and so I've come from different places, and I have many friends from all kinds of parts of the U.S.
Yeah.
So coming into the wedding with many friends from the outside, I wanted to make sure there was a beer that was from the area.
Yeah, for sure.
And I should have got a Shell Ring, and I didn't.
That's okay.
They're great. I love Shell Ring.
Yeah, he's sponsored an episode or two, and we got some work going on with him. So we'll get into your backstory and history and all that, but for the wedding aspect, how long have you and Lisa been together?
Well, ironically, you're part of that story. So to go back as far as I can in the story with Lisa, my now wife.
Great photographer, by the way.
You guys were up for an award for the same category in best photographer.
Yeah. So there's I would never expect you to vote any other way than with your wife.
I could not, unfortunately, or I would not have gotten married.
Rightfully so. I understand.
I would have had to sleep on your couch forever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no. She was a person that I saw on social media that had great skills and the kinds of things that she did, both video and she was at that moment burgeoning into the social media space.
Yeah.
But when I was deciding to make a film, I was trying to look for a person who did great video work, but no disrespect here, but I wanted to find someone I could probably afford.
Yeah.
Who might not have done a ton of film work that might be looking at this as like, what a cool opportunity to do something fun and get me a foot in the next step of the phase of my development. So I was like, damn, Sean's really good. At the same time, I saw Lisa, and that went in the background. As we completed the shooting of the film, we shot a film in 2021, and we've never finished editing it. And part of the problem was I had hoped that Sean could help me with editing it, but Sean has 8 billion things going on, as you know.
Busy.
Sean's kind of busy. And as a result, I'm like, well, what could I do to help take things off of Sean's plate to help him get this film edited? So I went back to, there's that girl Lisa. And I thought, well, maybe I could connect with Lisa, and I could push Sean and Lisa together to be each other's backup. Like, Lisa could use a backup in the kinds of things that she's doing. Maybe Sean could use the things for backup. And it kind of worked for a little bit. Like, you guys have met, and But the point to me at that moment was like, can I get this done just to get my film edited?
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't because she was super hot.
That's a bonus.
But she's super hot.
Yeah, that was the bonus.
And as we communicated, and like her rapport was incredible. We had super great back and forth over text. She's super funny, so smart. That I invited her to Ron and Rebecca's wine tasting event.
Okay.
And we met there, and that was our first date. And from that moment, it just sort of took off.
It's all history.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony. I got a small surprise for you, but I don't know if Tony's ready yet.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Anthony.
Huh? Did somebody say my actual government name?
Yes. So you had mentioned when I was texting you about your favorite drink, or what drink would you like?
What's up,
So
dorks?
I have 3 Palomas.
Oh my goodness,
Senor Sean.
Thank you, sir.
that's so great because
Major
this
Greg
was.
with 2 G's.
You're so kind.
There's chewy ice in there, so there's a bit more water than
Wait,
the
come back
recipe
in.
would
Come
normally
back into frame
Oh,
here.
I'm coming in.
Come on.
He's mic'd up and everything, my guy.
You already know.
Cheers. Thank you.
So, story with this, Greg, I'd reached out about his drink, and he had mentioned facetiously about a Paloma. And so today I picked up G4 tequila.
oh, nice. It's really good.
What is the
Jarditos.
Jarditos for the grapefruit
soda.
fresh squeezed lime?
It's beautiful.
How does it taste?
It tastes. I mean, I think the people that did our wedding drink,
Yeah.
it was really good, but this is better.
Okay, well that's yeah.
Nice job.
So I brought some of the ingredients. So I'm not a tequila drinker, nor am I a grapefruit drinker.
Wow.
51 is the year for trying new things from my reluctant foodie standpoint. And so let's see.
Cheers to the newlywed,
Yeah,
Cheers.
to the newlywed.
to
exactly
the grandpa,
right.
Well, cheers.
and to the man who inherits the earth.
I wish I was a grand. Do I wish? I actually have never.
You guys
had,
can decide
I've
who's
never had children that I know of. But, yeah. So, but my wife has 4 kids, and they're 30 and younger. Did you get to meet any of the kids?
No, but So I sat inadvertently in her side, and then when they were up in the front row, so I put 2 and 2 together. Obviously,
Yeah. The young hot people. Those were them.
they were definitely trendy and from a fashion standpoint.
Yeah.
And then so she has 3 girls, one son,
2 boys, 2 girls.
2 boys, 2 girls.
Yeah. And then there was a third. There was a boyfriend of one of them
Okay.
that came in for it. So.
Okay. Tony, what do you think about the drink?
Tastes like California.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'd asked him if he had had one up forward. He said yes, but maybe not knowing the name, but have had the drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grapefruit.
Yeah.
Grapefruit soda and tequila. Yeah.
Nice.
Jarditos specifically.
Now that we've got the 3 amigos together,
Yes.
we have written a film entitled The Camcorder,
Yeah.
which is what genre would you call it?
Well, yeah. What would you call it? Are you mic'd
Probably
up? Can you hear this?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
mic'd up. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hot over here.
All right.
Thriller. I'd say ambiguous thriller.
Yeah, it's a short, so we're aiming for 15, 16 minutes. We hand wrote the script. Greg transcribed it, and it's in a
Quentin Tarantino style.
yeah. So,
It's
Horror adjacent, not horrifying.
Yeah. It's not. There's no gore. Depending on how we
there's
shoot
no
it.
budget for gore.
Right. Although there might be a dead animal at some point.
Yeah, for
Guess we'll
sure.
see.
But
Waiting on that.
ultimately, it's there's suspense. There's thrills.
Suspense.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of shock, and self-servingly, we think there's a lot of story development. But,
Yeah. I'm excited to. I mean, obviously, the next step is to get it over. We're gonna try to partner with Ron and Rebecca to see their aspect, and if they'll help with from the producing side and help with some of the paperwork, the legality aspects of it,
Yeah.
and then we'll get into funding.
Move from pre-production to pre-production.
Yeah, exactly right. Because we've got to. I'm thinking, we got to raise some money. We
Yeah.
got to pay some folks.
No, and we'll work out budget stuff because there are things that we need to pay for that we've learned along the way that cost a lot more.
Oh gosh,
The
you need
one
money
thing-
to do things.
Yeah.
The
imagine
one
that.
thing I will always say to anyone that's shooting anything, shoot more than you need. It's better to get more content that you can,
Pare down.
pare down and then maybe use in B-roll or in some other sort of promotional extra content ways. But more importantly, just gives you more options.
Yeah.
It's way better to have more options than be like, damn it, I wish I would have had more here.
Yeah.
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 The difference between a nice big block of marble to carve out Michelangelo or something like
Yeah.
more like a paperweight.
Right. Good point.
So everybody can stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Called The Camcorder.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah. Hopefully start filming into this year. Oh, I don't know. It's not probably the end of this year.
It may not be. Can I give away how it was shot?
Yeah. You can. Yeah.
So, because it's called the camcorder, and I think you can probably get more into what this was all about.
Yeah.
Like the film was shot all on, or will be all shot on a
8mm
camcorder.
video
Yeah.
cassette,
An 8mm Panasonic handheld 1999-ish
Exactly.
styled
Yeah.
video recorder, which is exactly how the story itself plays out.
Yeah.
So the idea of it is less about, the beautiful cinematography. No knock on y'all.
No, still the intro. There'll be some zhuzh.
Sure.
The cinematography will be there. The pixels, maybe not.
But anyway, it's unique in that regard. So it sort of plays to the theme of it. And that makes it that much more special, which I was intrigued about. Like, I'd work with these guys on anything. But
we love working with you.
when it comes to that unique aspect, it was like, damn, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it all stemmed from a gift from my mother-in-law. Anthony's grandmother gifted me that camcorder, which works well. I've used it several times. And we will be buying maybe 2 more, just in case one goes down during production. You don't want to be caught with our pants down. It's not that kind of movie, Greg. We'll
He said pants down, and
that's part 2.
I saw him flinch.
Yeah.
What?
So we're looking forward to that.
And thus ends my relevancy, gentlemen.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony.
Enjoy the rest of your conversation, Greg with 2 G's and Sean with 1 N.
Thank you, sir.
Very kind. Very kind.
So, talked about you're recently newly married, which
Yep.
is fantastic.
It is pretty fantastic.
Our other movie venture, the camcorder. So, for folks that don't know about you, because you came into Beaufort, how long you been here? You said?
So I think I moved in. I want to say that I closed on the house I live in 2018.
Okay.
The end of it. So
Okay.
I moved in like in the first week of 19.
Okay.
I moved from Walterboro.
I remember. Yeah, you said that.
I retired. I used to work in broadcast and music programming and content. I moved to Walterboro when I retired in 2016.
Okay.
I moved from Los Angeles to Walterboro,
Culture shock.
which is a culture shock. But I actually grew up in a small town in Montana, so I'm used to the concept of really small towns. But Walterboro was just too landlocked, and the beauty of the landscape of Beaufort was way too hard to resist.
As it is for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I found a really great home, and I got a really good price, and it's very private. You've been to my house.
I have. I love it. It's a lovely home.
It's quiet, and it's very private-y.
Yeah.
And it's right across from the airport and the Walmart, so it's
Yeah.
not that private. But the street itself is pretty quiet.
Correct.
So
It's a great spot to swim nude. I've seen some Instagram photos of maybe some insinuating.
You only saw the shorts on the.
Yeah. To clarify, I did not see what Greg is packing.
Correct.
I
It was
haven't seen any of the goods.
Sometimes I like to take the shorts off.
Yeah.
And insinuate with the photos. Anyway,
As you should.
so I moved to South Carolina after about a 30-plus-ish year in music content. I've been in music programming. I ran radio stations. I was part of artist management. I was part of managing James Brown back in the day. A number of other things. But the primary role, the longest role I think that I had, I oversaw the programming content of a company called Sirius XM.
This small company.
Yeah, so I did that for a while. And
How far into when they began, was it Sirius or was it Sirius XM at the time of your
so I got
joining?
hired at Sirius.
Okay.
Sirius and XM were separate companies that both launched. Ironically, their satellites both went up on September 11th, 2001. Not the best day to launch your companies.
Not the best day, yeah.
Yeah. But XM launched stronger in terms of content, and Sirius launched stronger in the terms of equipment.
Okay.
And, what's sexier? Content or the box that, delivers the content.
Right.
So Sirius learned quickly like they had to change. So the initial core that they hired, they didn't get rid of everybody, but they had to modify the plan because XM jumped out of the gate stronger and harder, just was sexier and smarter in marketing. So I came in the second wave. So they hired me in early 2002, I guess.
Okay.
And they were like, nobody knows this, but we're going to hire Howard Stern. We're going to hire NFL. We're going to do all these things. I'm like, well, you probably need to do all those things, and that would be a game changer.
Yeah.
And so they brought me in, and I ran classic rock at first, and then rock, and then half of the music department. Then the merger happened with XM, and they asked me to move to DC to handle. XM was based out of DC.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
So they wanted me to sort of handle the XM side of things, and be the, hey man, all these New York cats ain't so bad, really. See, look.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was the good liaison,
Yeah.
and did that for a while. And then they've been trying to get me to move to LA. They've since moved into other markets. They had Nashville for country, but they've since built new pockets and places. But LA was one of their biggest other stronghold that they hadn't moved into. And they're like, for a long, long time, they're like, move to LA. I used to live in LA. Move to LA. I'm like, I waited it out, and they finally said, here's the right amount that it'll take for us to move you. And I'm like, okay, great. So I did. And at that point, I was building my own exit strategy. I was like, look, I'll do this for you guys, but I need to kind of look at my own retirement. So,
What age? What age were you at when that conversation was had?
well, I finally retired at 52.
Okay.
So the compensation was great, but I'm not the kind of person that needs. Can I cuss?
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a shit ton of money to retire.
Yeah.
Like, I need to be comfortable and happy. I want to keep myself busy doing things that empower me. And if there's money attached to it, then great. But the reality is like, I'm not trying to build a mansion and live with moats and fortresses and servants and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was quite content with the ability to retire at that moment, and I did. And I still hit the drive-through at the Wendy's every time.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's
living-
nothing special about what being retired at a young age is.
What was Robin? What was his name? Robin Leach. Caviar Dreams.
Oh, right. Yeah, no. Champagne wishes and
Yeah,
caviar
caviar
dreams.
dreams.
Like,
Yeah, you're not living
no,
that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, and I think that doubles for what I would like. I'll be 52 this October, and I'm not retiring.
No, but when you do retire, it's because you're doing it in a modest enough way to be able to
for
actually
sure, yeah.
still do stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to live outside of my means after retirement if I'm not living outside of my means during.
But you also want to remain active.
Oh, of course.
you know?
Yeah.
Being inactive is not
It's
really
the
an
death
option.
of anybody. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's funny? I'll turn 52 in October, like I said. But the check engine light was Van Willis, the town manager. He had made a comment one time. Oh, you turn 50, the check engine light comes on. Could be no truer of a statement. Not to sidetrack what we're talking about,
No,
but
it's
the
true, though.
aches and the pains and the phantom aches. Like, what is this? Why is this hurt? You know what I mean? It's crazy. Because I'm fairly active. I do a lot of steps throughout the day, but I'm not doing stretches. I'm not doing jumping jacks or nothing that I should be doing, which I will start doing. But it's funny how that works. You hit a certain age.
Yeah, and it all fluctuates, you know. The bottom line is, like, you have to keep moving. And I think for someone like you who's constantly moving, like, at some point you'll say, I need to slow down.
Yeah.
But really, you do have to keep moving. It's just how you keep moving.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Changes.
especially mentally as well. I mean, you got to stay mentally active and doing
Yeah.
whatever that is, brain teasers or crosswords or whatever.
I think the good thing that what I've learned about, at least in my retirement, is that there's no possible way other than, it's strange. When I retired, I thought that I wanted to just sit and watch the grass grow.
Of course, yeah.
And then I watched it grow, and I was like, this is not great. And, it's not, it wasn't just physical. It really was mental. It was like, how do I keep myself engaged in stuff? I can walk and I can run and I can lift weights and I can, run local races. But, like, how do I actually get physically engaged but still stay mentally engaged? Yeah. And that's almost more important.
Yeah. Oh, no, 100%. Yeah, body in motion stays in motion.
Yeah.
I mean, who did that? Newton's Law. Do you miss working?
So I know you and I have had some conversations about there's this potential other huge thing that's out there that would motivate me to continue to work. And when all those things fire on the right cylinders, I'll decide whether it makes sense or not. But
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by the concept of certain things, like I don't necessarily want to do something that doesn't challenge me the way that I feel like I need to be challenged.
Right.
I don't need to keep busy. Now that I've learned how to motivate my mind and keep myself busy, I don't need other things to just sort of be time sucks.
Right. You don't need remedial work. You don't need to be a greeter at Walmart just
Right.
to have time.
Although that for a while I was like, I thought that'd be great.
Yeah.
But like right now that doesn't
For
doesn't
and
need,
nothing against that by any
No,
means.
no, no, no. It was something I almost aspired to do.
Yeah.
It's just I've learned that there are other things I can do besides put myself to that place.
Yeah.
I would never want to take a job that someone else could have too. Like that's the other thing. Like I
Right.
wouldn't want to just occupy that seat and have other people not be employed by it. But yeah, I think things seem to like they'll work their magic the way
Yeah.
they should.
Yeah. I get. Yeah. Things. The universe will work itself out with the way what's supposed to be worked out.
And I've done some theater here. I've been in a handful of plays. I was on the board at the May River Theater for a while in Bluffton, and I'll probably still act from time to time. But I'm less interested in acting as I am about putting things together.
Yeah.
So the idea of when I was in management with the broadcast group with Sirius XM and before that in other terrestrial radio companies, I started out as an on-air DJ.
Yep. I read I did really research, but a little bit more. Obviously, it's in the article with the Beaufort lifestyle, but just some of the accolades and your tenure and how you climb the ladder, I guess.
Well, ultimately, you do start out with your interest in one thing, and you work your way towards other possible steps. And I got into broadcasting as a DJ, and I was okay.
Yeah.
At some point I was, a nationally syndicated radio host with numerous markets where I was on, but ultimately I just wasn't that good,
Yeah.
And I knew that other people were better. And I kind of liked the behind the scenes stuff more than I liked being in front of the scenes. And as an actor, I'm probably a good actor, probably not a great actor. So I can do fine.
Yeah.
But it isn't the greatest satisfaction that I have. I have better satisfaction seeing how I can make everything come together.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why things like being in film and that kind of thing, like that aspect is more interesting to me.
Yeah, and I can see that. And I'm sure even from other actors that are on TV shows or whatever, they end up being producers or directors. Or once they get the directing bug from directing an episode or whatever, they make that shift. Ron Howard.
Right.
Great example.
Yeah. I mean, it's not... Some people just, enjoy the spotlight.
Yeah.
And other people just enjoy the craft and building things.
Yeah.
And I'm more about that.
Yeah, I get that. So I think we first met. I think you came on my radar at the Beaufort Film Festival, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think. So I knew who you were.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get your attention, and I think because I needed some business cards.
That's what it was.
I think I was like, "Hey, man, can you help me with this stuff?"
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how invested in the film festival you were, but you were like, this was the COVID year, I think.
Yeah.
So 2020 was all indoors, and it was hectic and different, I'm sure. And that's, I think, when we sort of first came across each other.
I think so, too. It gets blurry as time goes on. So it's been 4 years that we've been friends.
What's amazing, though, is in that 4 years, I feel like, we're not hanging out every day, but like I feel a great kinship with you. But the thing that I think that I would bet that most people that come in contact with you say the same thing.
Yeah.
that you've got a great way of building relationships with people.
I learned a long time ago that the whole saying you get bees attract bees with honey versus vinegar or whatever that saying is. Because in my past life for 23 years I was fighting up against the wall with what I was doing and who I was with and the whole thing, but realizing early on that it's about relationships and networking and making people feel, because it's not when I do go, I don't want people to think, oh, the only thing they know about me is Sean worked his ass off. I want it to be how, well, he would do this for me. He would do whatever he wanted, whatever he could for me, or however that was. So I try to live my life by leaving people happier than it was before we met, kind of a deal.
Yeah, and at the same time, like, you want to be known as a person who gives all of yourself, but for the right reason. Like, you're not doing that and getting stepped on at the same time.
Yeah, for sure, exactly.
So it's nice because usually you get back what you give.
Yeah, typically. Again, past work stuff was not that way. But it didn't change who I was as a person, you know what I mean? I still accepted it and took it, and I got out of it after 23 years. It took me long enough.
Yeah, but you also built a legacy for the people that you worked with. Yeah. That they may never appreciate as much. Yeah. But you will.
Yeah. No, I agree. I appreciate that.
So I've been less active in the acting world recently.
What was the last did we watch your last play? The one where you were
the British old dude?
Yeah, I think
I fell down the stairs.
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that was in early 23, and it was right around that time I just met Lisa, my wife, and my time was changing. Yeah. And I've just not had the time to deal with it. And quite frankly, the theater companies have done more musicals. I'm not a singer.
Yes, they have.
So I'm just not, musicals do well. They sell lots of tickets. I'm just not that guy. Yeah. I don't like comedic farces, and I've had to do some because like that British thing where I was the director guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a great play.
It was fun to do, but like I like serious stuff. I like hard work. Yeah. I like the character having to really dig deep, and I don't like surface level stuff. Right. And sometimes lots of community theater shows are that way. They want a big laugh and sell tickets that way.
Tickets. Yeah, exactly.
So, and no disrespect to them, but I don't dig it as much. Yeah. And I'm sure that my skill set isn't good enough to actually get the roles that I'd like, but it just doesn't motivate me to.
Yeah. You've been at the acting school, or you had an acting coach?
No. I've done. I did theater a long time ago, and then I got into broadcasting, and then that took up all of my time. So when I've had breaks in broadcasting, I've taken on some shows, but I'm not skilled. I'm not, I'm not good.
I think you're good.
I learn. Yeah, I learn all the time. So
life's every day's a lesson.
Better be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what what I mean. It just kills me that people that think they can get through life without learning anything. I love learning.
The fact that people think that they know everything is crazy.
It's ridiculous.
And when you go in and do your job on a daily basis, and you think you know everything, and then someone says, "What about you did this?" And you're like, "Oh," and it becomes that now I can put that in my bag. Yeah.
So what's next for first of all for Gregg Steele Heppner? What are you doing?
So. We alluded to this, business thing that may happen. There's this company that's got Spain funding, and it's going to be a very large music business thing that will be pretty global. I'm just waiting on
that. That's still in the air.
Yeah, that'll still hopefully rear itself. The finance minister of Spain needs to release some funds to build this thing out. Yeah. But it's all been approved. It's just waiting for it to happen. And that means that I can continue to stay here. Yeah. And then sort of build out this live music content component. But outside of that, it's like nestling with my my new wife and figuring out how to make myself a better person by being day to day with a woman. Like,
Yeah.
you've been married how long?
We're actually celebrating our 10 years this July 4th. So not only is my business, July 4th is July 27th is my 10-year wedding anniversary. July 4th is our business 10-year anniversary. So a lot happened in 2014.
That's a big year.
But we've been together 14 years.
And you've learned a lot.
Oh, I've learned a lot. Second time around, I've learned a whole lot.
Yeah.
Life's a lot better now.
And it's probably not something that doesn't, bring its like newness every day. You're like, oh shit, there's something I learned today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got tons of that to learn.
So how is that? So she's moving in with you.
Yeah. So
That's obviously that's already happened, I would assume.
no,
Work in the process.
so she's Canadian, moved to the Hilton Head area in 2000. She got married in '87 to her first husband. They've been divorced for 6, 7, 8 years. So she's going to move into my place. She lives in Bluffton now.
Okay.
We're putting her house on the market. We'll have her move in
All that.
when it makes all sense.
Yeah.
So that's still got to happen. But
That's going to be an exciting change, having
it is.
your wife move in with you and then learning. My biggest challenge I've learned is learning how they do things that are different than how you would do things.
Sure.
If it's loading the dishwasher, something as simple as that.
I went through all that. Like, is it forks up or forks down?
Yep,
right?
exactly right. Well, you want to put them down because then the water's going to hit them and they're going to get cleaner.
Yep. And also, when you go to take them out, you're
grabbing.
You're not grabbing a pointy thing.
Yeah. As a single guy, who gives a cat? You know what I
Right.
mean? I give two shits. But with a family, it's a little bit different.
Right.
Do you put your ketchup in the
Ketchup's in
refrigerator?
the fridge.
Always, even after once it's
Yeah.
open?
For whatever reason, that's one of those refrigerated after opening
Yeah.
things. Even though when you go to a diner, it's all sitting
hanging
on the
out.
counter.
Yeah, for sure.
But in the diner, it's being used every day.
It is.
I don't use ketchup every day. So
Well, I do.
Do you really?
No, not really. I just because I do like ketchup.
so you keep it on the counter?
No. It's in the fridge, dude. No, that's definitely in the fridge. So Miracle Whip or mayonnaise?
I grew up as a Miracle Whip person.
Okay.
I've become a mayonnaise person.
Okay.
And I used to be a Duke's when I moved to South Carolina, but now I use it's Japanese.
Oh.
They're tall, skinny squirt bottles. It's really good.
And there's a difference in types of mayonnaise versus because I know Miracle Whip is sweet and it's like a salad dressing. And all this stuff.
Yeah, but Duke's is a good all-purpose.
Yeah.
But this, I don't remember what it's called. It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's creamier and it's a little sweeter.
Okay.
Probably because I was a Miracle Whip guy, I find it.
Yeah,
to be
I could
better.
see that. And I haven't made the switch to mayonnaise, and I'm on a journey to find.
So you're a
new
Miracle
food.
Whip guy.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So Miracle Whip on bologna, done.
Oh, yeah.
Miracle Whip on a fried egg in the morning for breakfast, on white bread not toasted, done.
What about like in a coleslaw?
I don't need coleslaw.
Oh.
I had my third. So, as you know, I've started a channel, Reluctant Foodie.
Yes.
Because I don't like a lot of food, and it's ridiculous at my age to eat as poorly as I do.
Say
in
the
sense
name
of
again.
The Reluctant Foodie.
And is there a hashtag?
There is.
is
The
it-
Reluctant Foodie, but
It's
The Reluctant-
ampersand the reluctant foodie.
Foodie SC.
SC.
SC for South Carolina. So I'm on a journey to try new things. I've never had a Big Mac. I've never touched a Big Mac.
You worked with
I worked at Wendy's. Oh, sorry. I worked at Sonic Drive-In for 23 years.
Yeah.
In high school, I worked at Burger King. So I've been around fast food my whole life, but the idea of the lettuce I don't eat.
Yeah, but
know,
you should still do it.
I'm
as
going
as
to.
part of
It's
that would
the
be
reluctant
great.
aspect. So I did a poll on my Instagram, and the Whopper won out because I've never had a Whopper traditionally with everything. I'd vote ketchup only, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to try a Whopper for the first time. I've only eaten coleslaw. Well, the first time on camera was at the Shrimp Shack. It wasn't bad. It was very refreshing. It was good. So I had it last night at the Water Festival. Had their sponsor banquet, and I tried it there through Q on Bay, and it was good. It wasn't bad.
Fries or tots?
Crispy tots
Yeah.
with salt, crispy fries. Steak fries over crinkle cut. Probably steak fries with a steak and cheese. goes well.
Yeah.
Crinkle cut with a burger, kind of a deal.
I like your hat, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So this, which I found, Airmont Group.
Yeah, so that's the name of the film company that I've created
Yeah.
that is part of the film that we've not completed.
I'm a hat guy, and I love this hat for the style, the way it fits. And I haven't found another one. And I'm not a flat rim guy, even though this is semi-flat.
Yeah.
I'm a take it, crink it, and I want the edges touching the side of my glasses kind of a
Right.
thing.
Right.
But this is the one that I wear for certain special occasions.
So just so you know, any prospective clients, get them a hat.
Yeah, get him a hat. It's good. It's a good, and I love it. It actually pairs well with the brown and green and everything I got going on today.
Nice.
So, so we can wrap this up. Your social media handles are?
So I'm mostly at Lowcountry Lucky. I have a bunch of other ones that aren't that important. Those are the ones. That's the one that I use the most.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I probably am on everything because I try to lock down. I have more email addresses with the same name. I'm Lowcountry Lucky at Hotmail, at Gmail, at me. Like I I nailed down all of them because I wanted to be consistent just in case. So I'm probably that way on everything, but really the only ones that I use. I don't use X. I tried to use Twitter before, and I just don't.
It's got its place for certain people or certain.
I logged in for Threads when that happened. I just don't use it. So it's really Instagram and Facebook for me. But it's at Lowcountry Lucky or Gregg Steele Heppner, and there's lots of letters there. So
2 G's, 2 E's, 3 E's, 2 P's.
3 G's, 2 on the end.
Yeah.
Steele with an A, 2 P's on Heppner.
Yep.
And
you update folks just on your daily life, what's going on if you go back to Montana.
Yeah, I go back to Montana quite a bit. My dad lives there. My sister was living there for 30-odd years. She just moved to Hawaii. Unfortunately, that's why she didn't end up moving to or coming to the wedding.
Okay.
So that's unfortunate. But so I'm here and there, and then I probably have a lot of Spain trips in the future with this job thing. But generally speaking, I'm around, and I love it here. I want to be a part of this community as much as possible.
Yeah. I see you've definitely put yourself in the middle of a lot of things, and we see each other at some other events. So follow Gregg on social media. Keep up to date with him. You can follow me, the Reluctant Foodie SC on Instagram if you want to see some of the normal, average, everyday food that people every day eat that I don't necessarily eat, and see how that goes. And then also SK Signs Designs on social media as well.
What are your next 3 Reluctant Foodie places?
So we are doing...
You might have to edit this out because you might have done it by the time this...
No. The Thai place, not Yes Thai indeed. Papaya.
Oh, okay.
We're going to Papaya.
Okay.
Soon. If not tomorrow, then Friday, I think. But I haven't chosen. I've got some stuff on the. I want to do some jerk chicken I've never done. I want to do the noodle place downtown, right there across from Black Sheep.
Ochai.
Never had a traditional.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just throwing it out there, doing stuff that I've never eaten, even if it's like I said, a Whopper, I've never had.
There's a lot of great Mexican restaurants, but I won't disregard any of them. But I really like Agave.
Yep, we did go to Agave, and I tried. So what I do is 2 types of formats. So I'm doing stories, and I'll do some Q&A stuff.
I saw you at Agave on some of your postings.
So I did it. I'm doing a 20-second review. So
that's what that was.
I was with the family.
Right.
So to take up less time, set the camera up, take a picture, bite of a video of me eating it, go home, do a voiceover, and that's it. 20 seconds. So I still get content, but I'm not taking away from the conversation with Kelly and I and whoever else may be there. So I've done that twice. Agave, and we were at Spanky's in Savannah. First time I've had a hot dog with relish, coleslaw, chili cheese, and mustard.
Do you there's this guy, Dave, from Barstool Sports.
Yeah, with the pizza review.
The
one slice or one bite thing.
I hate watching him, but I watch him all the time because he's such a dick.
He is a dick.
And he's like, everything about him is dick-worthy.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's one bite, but he takes...
Yeah.
eight
Everybody
bites.
knows the deal. One bite. And then that's, But what happens with that? People in the comments say that, so therefore it's going to react, and it's going to be the algorithm's going to love it
Sure.
and push it.
Yeah, no, he's not an idiot. Like he's made
yeah.
bajillion. He bought his own company back for $1.
Oh, wow.
Right? He sold the business for like 26 million, and then they didn't know how to monetize it, and they sold it back to him for $1.
Wow.
And it's bigger than ever. So.
Yeah.
But I watch him and I can't stand
Like a train
it.
wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that being said, like his niche is pizza reviews, right?
Yeah.
And not that you have to have a niche, but like there's probably what's the biggest category of food groups that you can identify in, and maybe it's June is Mexican month.
Right, for sure. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I do a lot of things. Obviously, this as well. I made the reference. I feel like I'm the Ryan Seacrest of Beaufort.
You actually kind of are.
I like to do things because I can, first of all, and doing things that I like to do helps me keep sane, so I'm not constantly stressed about what's happening elsewhere. Make it, all the other things that come with life. This allows me to relax a little bit. So I do like the idea, and I'm just throwing things right now just to kind of see what works well, grow the channel a little bit. But I do like the idea of a themed week or a themed month kind of a deal.
Well, so it gives new ways to promote things.
Yeah.
Like you can sort of focus all of your marketing in a smaller area, and those people that are in that universe can promote you as well.
Yeah.
Rather than just being as broad as food, right? So, I don't know. And there's, I don't know. I'm sure there's tons of Italian places, there's tons of pizza places, there's tons of Mexican
enough
places.
to do because again, pizza, just pepperoni and cheese. I've never had it with onions, jalapenos. I've had a meat lovers every now and again,
Right.
But there's a lot of average food that I've never had.
So we're probably running out of video time, but I do want to ask this question.
Yeah.
As a marketer for many different brands, as a now food reviewer, and I thought about this because I think you guys went out to Beato's the other day.
We did, yeah.
And I think Beato's was at least a client to some regard. You may not do marketing for them, but I think you did their signs or stuff. Right?
Oh, yeah. But when they first opened up, we did their exterior and their interior wall graphic.
Yeah. So forget that there was maybe a one-time thing. They still want to build, maintain equity with you. But there might be clients that you do ongoing.
And I know exactly where you're going with that. So so I won't review it from a quality standpoint, right? So it's more about my taste buds, and if I like that from a picky eater standpoint.
Okay.
So the spin on that is I can see how other people would like this, but it's not for me.
And you give them a heads up saying, hey, I'm going to do this.
No.
No?
Beato's we did. Matt and I went from Black Sheep, and he had hit him up and just told him just a heads up. But it's not my place to tell someone that I don't like their food from a quality standpoint. It's more about the taste from me.
I just think there's an ego that other clients might have saying, how dare he?
Yeah.
And
that's where I'll tread lightly. And I won't, if somebody asks me to come out and do it, I won't do it because they asked me to do it. Because I don't want to get in the position to where I'm asked either monetarily or whatever.
Oh, right. You won't do the reverse where it's like, hey, why don't you...
No, it's the fun aspect of me trying food that I never had. No different if I had, if I went overseas somewhere and ate fried crickets. It's not a knock on those people. I just won't like it.
Right.
I won't eat it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of that avenue. And we'll see where it goes. It's really just about me and what I like and what I don't like and the weirdness of me not having potato salad.
I think that's pretty great for this area, though, because there's a lot of people that sort of stay stuck in their cage of what they actually like and don't like.
Yeah.
And I have a handful of restaurants that I go to, and then there's a bunch that I've never tried. So
and that's kind of the thought, too. So if somebody's coming into town and they have a picky eater in their family, which is highly likely, where would they go? Or are they going to take a chance of going to Breakwater and then trying something that would a picky eater eat this food? Kind of a deal.
When I have friends come to town, they're like, well, where should I stay? Where should I go to eat? I'm like, I don't stay in the hotels because I live here.
That's tough.
And so I don't know. And I can tell you the handful of restaurants I've gone to, but I cook at home a lot. Like I love certain restaurants, but not one that I would take, you guys to.
Yeah, for sure.
Like these are my comfort places, but you might not like it.
Food is so subjective, and it's such an emotional experience from the consumption of it, and then depending on your server, how the atmosphere and
Yeah.
everything. So it's highly emotional from all aspects of it.
My shout outs to restaurants, real quick, are Black Sheep. And We'll
Yep.
see how that turns itself into things. There's a place called Griffin Market.
Yep, he's about to close.
No.
Yeah, he's going to shut down and be done
When?
end of July, I think.
No.
Yeah,
I got to get back in
you
there.
got to.
Because they're always busy.
Yeah. I don't think it's that. I think it's just he's tired. He's ready for.
Well, it's just the
next
two of
chapter.
them, right?
I
So,
think
like,
so.
they work their
They
ass
might even
off.
have a third person to help, but still very
still.
small. Yeah, just him and his wife and maybe.
But they're
one.
always so sweet and kind.
Yeah. Oh no,
and-
they're great people.
And the food is amazing.
It is.
So if you get
Very
the
authentic
opportunity
Italian.
before the end of July,
Yeah.
please go to Griffin Market.
Yeah.
And all the other downtowns. I wish I was up earlier to go to Urban Market more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because Urban Cafes is amazing. Gosh.
Lowcountry produce is great.
Oh, I love
I like Brody's.
Brody's wings are the best wings,
Best wings in
ever.
town. Best
yeah,
wings ever.
like nobody can make those wings.
They're
any
fried
better.
and then baked.
Yeah,
Fried, sauced, and baked.
It's not like an experience you
Yeah.
could get anywhere else.
Transparency, they were a client, but I do love their.
Yeah, but even if they weren't, my
Yeah.
Christ,
Oh,
that's incredible. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's a sports bar, so like you'd be like, yeah, I won't. It's worth going through.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. We shot something. I dropped my phone into a cup of soup there.
We did. Yeah. We shot a little fun promo at Brody's, and you dropped your phone. Yeah, it was a cell phone photography class we were having with the city,
That's
and we
funny.
utilized Greg and his acting skills to kind of take a throwback to the infomercial.
I think it was an overacting skill.
It was great.
Yeah.
It worked
I
perfectly.
can overact
Yeah.
better than anybody.
Yeah. Greg, I appreciate you coming in.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for watching. Follow Greg, follow us, and we appreciate it.